Good morning, and it is very early in the morning. It's St. Patrick's Day, and I'm going to be making corned beef and cabbage tonight for dinner, and so I thought I would bring you along with me. It does take about 12 hours in the crock pot because I'm doing it on low, and it's a pretty large piece of meat that I'm going to be cooking. And I'm also going to show you what to do with leftovers. So it's going to be a couple day process. All right, let's get going. Okay, now you can do this recipe on the stove. That's completely up to you, but I'm going to use a crock pot because it's just easier and I can just put it on, leave it, go about my day and not have to worry about anything. So we're going to get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is, as you can tell, this is a pretty good sized corned beef. So the first thing I'm going to do is open this up and get it out of there. And this is already seasoned and everything, so all you're doing is just basically cooking it. And so I want to make for sure I get all the goodness, all the juices. So you're going to open up the package, and you're in price struggle like me. It's early. All right, I'm going to take it out of here if I can get it out. I guess I need to open it a little more than what I've opened it. Didn't realize it was as big as it is. Losing all its goodies. Okay, that was a lot of work. Maybe it's just too early for me in the morning. It's like 6 in the morning right now. And here I am thinking of cooking food. All right, so I've got it in there. I'm going to set this off to the side. I'm going to wash my hands real quick. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it with water. And you're going to cover all the meat. And I've already got this plugged in, so I'm going to turn it on low. I'm going to put the lid on, and then we're just going to let it cook. I will bring you back in a couple of hours to see how it's doing. Also, about an hour before it's done, I'm going to add potatoes. Now, we use the smallest potatoes that we can find, but you can definitely use whatever potatoes you want. You don't even have to add potatoes if you don't want to. But this is what we're going to use. They're the small little ones, so I'll wash them up, and then I'll get them in here about an hour before this is done. And about 20 minutes before it's done, I will add cabbage. Once again, it's completely up to you. If you don't want to do any of that, you do not have to. But that's the way that I do it, and that's the way my mom did it, so that's the way I do it. All right, well, I'm going to have some more coffee because clearly I have not had enough, and then I will bring you back in a little bit, and we'll see how everything is going. All right, see you soon. Okay, so it's been probably about 6-7 hours since I put the corned beef on the crock pot. So I thought I'd bring you along to look at it, and we're going to continue to let it cook. It's nice and bubbly, and it's smelling really good in the house, and I'm looking forward to having some. All right, so come along with me, and let's get going on this. Okay, so it's bubbling really nice. Whoops. And it smells absolutely delicious. I wish you had smell-o-vision because it smells so good, and my dog is upset about something. I don't know what. All right, so I'm just going to kind of turn this over so it cooks a little bit. Yeah, it still has a long way to go, but it is looking really good. So, and it's smelling delicious. And I don't know what my dog is upset about. The neighbors behind were cleaning their pool, and he does not like that at all. I guess he thinks they need a dirty pool. I don't know. All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue letting this cook for another 4 or 5 hours. And while we're letting it cook, I'm going to go ahead and get, I want to make for sure that the veggies are nice and dry before we put them in here, even though they're going into liquid. Kind of silly, huh? Let's see. Can't get the... Now I like to use the small potatoes. Look how these are. I'm going to turn this around just a tad bit. I like to use the small potatoes because they cook up faster and they're really good. So I'm just going to go ahead and dump them in here. And then we got the smallest head of cabbage that we could find because it's just the two of us. So we don't need more than that. So we got a tiny little one. I'm just going to kind of take off the outer layers. And then I'm going to it didn't break it. Darn it. Now I'm going to have to cut it with a knife. Sometimes if you smack it hard enough, it'll break it. It'll break out the core. But apparently not this time. So we're going to cut out the core. And then I'm going to wash these and just let them sit there and dry. Which I know sounds silly because I'm putting it in a pot of water afterwards. But let's see if I can help. This little thing does not want to come out. So for being a small little head of cabbage, it sure does have a pretty firm grip. Maybe I got it. All right, so I got most of the core out. I'll get out the rest in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and wash all this up and let it sit, and then we'll be putting it in the water when it gets time to. All right, so I will bring you back. Okay, so it's about an hour until dinner. So I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to move this around a little bit, kind of stir up some of the sauce. Oh, you guys, it's looking so good. This is going to be so delicious, and it's so tender. All right, so I'm going to add the potatoes, and I'm just going to use a slotted spoon to add them so that it doesn't splash all over the place on me. Because if you've ever had hot water dump on you, you know how hot it can be. Also, it gives me the advantage of placing them where I want them. So some of them are still just falling off because, well, that's just the way it is, I guess. Oh yeah, it's going to be so delicious. And then, like I said, I'm going to show you what to do with leftovers, and that'll be tomorrow night's dinner. Excuse me. Okay, so we're going to let this sit for a little bit longer, for another hour. And then we're going to add the cabbage. And so all I'm going to do with the cabbage is I'm just going to cut it up. I will actually show you what I'm going to do with the cabbage. Move the crock pot over a little bit. Move this to where you can see. Let me just knock you around. Get a knife. And I'm just going to get some mussels and cut the cabbage in half. And you see how it has the core. I don't want the core, so I am going to cut that out. And I'm going to find the hardest way I can to do the core. So, and I'm just going to kind of cut it up a little bit. I'm not going to like shred it or anything like that. And I'm going to do it to both sides. Okay. And then about 20 minutes or a half hour before I'm ready to serve, I'm going to add this. And I will bring you back then for sure to see. Because you still want the cabbage, or at least I do. I like my cabbage a little crunchy, but some people don't. So it's kind of up to you. All right, so we're going to let this sit for another half hour or so, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, so it's getting close to time to serve dinner. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the cabbage. The potatoes are cooking up really nice. So I'm just going to put the cabbage in. And it will continue on cooking. Okay, look at it go. It's going to be delicious. All right, so when it's completed, I will show you the finished product. So I want to thank you for coming along with me on this journey. I will be showing you some ideas for leftovers. But if I forget, I hope that you had an amazing St. Patrick's Day and that you are having an amazing day. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye. Okay, so we are back for leftover night with our corned beef. So tonight we're going to make Reuben crescent rolls. The nice part about crescent rolls is that you could actually do it for anything. You can put roast beef with some cheese. You can do pizza. You can do pretty much whatever you want to do with them. They're so versatile. But tonight we're going to make Reuben crescent rolls. So we're going to be using Thousand Island dressing, our leftover corned beef. I did not get Swiss cheese, so instead I'm using provolone. It's a little different, but I like provolone cheese. And we're going to be using sauerkraut along with the crescent rolls. All right, so let's get going on this recipe. Okay, so we're going to get started on what we're doing here. So I've got, the oven is preheating to 375. I've got a baking sheet with some parchment paper on it, and I got my crescent rolls. So we're going to open these things up. Do you ever jump when the tube breaks open? I do. You didn't see that though, guys. Okay, so we're going to get this out of there. Maybe we are. Let's see what we can do here. It does not want to come out. Okay. All right, so we're going to start to unroll all of this. All right. You want to break them up into their individual triangles. Okay, so we've got them out on the sheet, and now we're going to get started. So we're going to start off with the Russian dressing, or not Russian, sorry, Thousand Island dressing, and I just measured it out. You're going to use about 1/4 cup. You might need more, you might need less, but we're going to start off with putting a dollop on each crescent roll. And then we're going to spread it out just a little bit. But I'm going to take some from a couple of them because I think that I overfilled them. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to kind of spread it out a little bit. And like I was saying, you know, crescent rolls are really great for all kinds of things that you can do with. You can just, if you want to, you can put a little bit of roast beef on this and with some string cheese and bake it and make some au jus sauce, and then you have spilling all over. And then at that point you have French dip. You can also put some marinara sauce or pizza sauce on here and add some pepperoni or whatever you like on your pizza with some cheese. And now you have pizzas. Okay, so we've got that. And now we're going to put the corned beef. Now it's about 4 ounces of corned beef that you're going to use. And so I'm just going to pile it on. I just kind of grabbed out some of it. And you're going to divide it up kind of equally. I'm going to try anyway to divide it up equally. Whoa. This is going to be delicious. I don't even know where to put the rest. Okay, so now we've got that. And now we're going to top it with sauerkraut. So we're just going to add a little bit of sauerkraut. And it's about a 1/3 of a cup of sauerkraut. Now, if you don't like sauerkraut, you do not have to add this. You can just skip this part and not be bothered. I happen to like sauerkraut, so I definitely did not want to skip this part. Whoops, I think I got too much on that one and not enough over here. Okay, now we're going to add the cheese. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of cheese. And it's a good thing that I'm using parchment paper because I'm making a huge mess. Okay, so we got everything there. And now we're just going to roll it up. So you're just going to kind of roll it like you would a normal crescent roll. You want to try and get the seam side down. Try to keep all the filling in. But nobody said this was going to be a clean dish. Oh. Okay, and then now we're going to bake this for about 10 to 20 minutes. You're going to do it until they're golden brown. And I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Okay, so my oven has preheated. So I'm going to get this in the oven, and then I will bring you back to show you what it looks like. Okay, so I have one more recipe to show you, and that'll be tomorrow night's dinner that we're going to do with leftovers. Okay, so I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to bring you along with me on it. All right, so I will see you tomorrow night. Okay, so we're doing the second recipe for leftovers for the corned beef, and so we're going to make a grilled cheese sandwich with it and put corned beef in it. All right, so come along and let's get started on it. Okay, now normally you would use rye bread, but I don't have rye bread, so I'm using garlic rosemary bread. I think it's still going to taste delicious. So I'm going to butter one side. I'll go ahead and put it in my pan, and then I'm going to put a piece of cheese, and I'm going to add some of the corned beef that I've sliced up. And then I'm going to add more cheese. And my cheese is just crumbling for some reason. So that's okay. It happens. I'm going to add quite a bit. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the... Come on, there you go. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. And then I'm going to butter the other piece of bread. And then we're just going to cook this up. The roasted garlic is coming out. Put it on here. There you go. And we're just going to let it warm up. I was going to put sauerkraut on it, but I forgot. So I'm just going to put it on my plate and just eat it without being on a sandwich. And my dog is over here wanting some. Okay, so while this cooks, I'm going to clean up my mess a little bit because I made a mess on the other side of the kitchen. So I'm going to clean it up, and then I will bring you back. Okay, so I flipped the sandwich, and now it's cooking on the other side, and it's crisping up really nice. Cheese is melting all over the place, and I think this is going to be really good. Okay, so let's get this out of the pan. And this is what it looks like. Okay, well, thanks for coming along with me on these adventures with making the corned beef, then making the Reuben crescent rolls, and now the grilled cheese. There are so many other things that you can do. You can make a wrap with the corned beef. You can make corned beef hash. There are so many different things that you can do with it. You can just eat it plain. You can just warm it up from your leftovers and just eat it that way. It's up to you, however you want to do it. But when you make a large meal, try and think ahead of time of what you can do with the leftovers. Sometimes we don't like to eat leftovers because we think we're eating the same thing over and over again, when there are so many other different things that you can do to change up the recipe or to change up the ingredients, but you're just using your leftovers. So you can add a few more things, you can do whatever you want. So I'm going to encourage you to think of those things and do those kinds of things. All right, well, I hope that you're having a great day and everything's going good for you, and I will talk to you soon. Also remember to hit the like and share, hit the share, and hit the subscribe button. I forgot what I was talking about. All right, I will talk to you soon. Bye.